This Read 180 topic is made possible by a grant from
Kellogg's Rice Krispies, who reminds you, books are totally overflowing with cool stuff. Get in on it. Wake up to the amazing world of reading.
And by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting and the annual financial support of viewers like you.
In this CD, we'll introduce you to some athletes who bring a little something extra to the world of sports. Some are breaking barriers, some are breaking records, and some are just breaking the scale. The point is, sometimes there's much more to the story when you look beyond the finish line.
Okay, next up, we're going to see some athletes who stay in shape by losing their shape. I'm talking about sumo wrestling. Now, these guys got to work to keep their weight up, not down, because extra pounds can come in handy in this sport. But there's a lot more to sumo than meets the eye, so if you really want the big picture, watch the video.
Mass appeal.
In Japan, sumo wrestling is more than just men throwing their weight around. It started about 1,500 years ago as a religious ritual. Over time, it became Japan's national sport. Today, everything in sumo still bears the weight of tradition, from the hairstyle down to the giant loincloth, which date back to the 6th century. A young man training for sumo must learn all the ceremonial movements of the sport, with frequent lunch breaks. Before a match, a wrestler claps his hands to get the attention of the gods. He stamps his feet to drive evil spirits from the ring. He stares down his opponent. Some sumo rituals can last for hours, but a match is usually over in seconds. If a wrestler is forced out of the circle or touches the ground with any part of his body, he loses. Easy, big guy. The highest-ranked sumo wrestlers are called yokozuna, a position of great respect in Japan. These heavyweight champs are treated like rock stars. They even get fat advertising deals. A yokozuna must keep up his winning record or is expected to do the honorable thing and resign. A few Americans, like Manny Yarborough, are world-class sumo wrestlers. But it's rare for anyone to beat the Japanese in sumo. After all, they've been training for 1,500 years. Now, if you want to get inspired, you've come to the right place. Because you're about to meet a father-son team who don't even know the meaning of the words, "it can't be done." Curious? Well, let's just say there's more than one way to get to the finish line.
Carried to victory.
Cerebral palsy left Rick Hoyt unable to speak and paralyzed. But he's competed in more than 750 races, including marathons, swimming races, and a cross-country trek. How? That's where his dad, Dick Hoyt, comes in. He provides the arms and legs. Rick provides the inspiration. Today, they'll need inspiration as they face the ultimate physical challenge, Hawaii's famous Ironman triathlon. They did it once before, 10 years ago, but Dick is almost 60 years old now. Does Team Hoyt still have what it takes? The Ironman begins with a 2.4-mile ocean swim. Dick tows his son in a raft in a sea of other swimmers. Then it's on to a grueling 112-mile bike ride with Rick in a handlebar seat. Halfway through, their bike breaks down, and Team Hoyt starts to fade. But they fix the bike and press on, making it to the last leg of the race. A 26.2-mile run. It may look like his dad is pushing Rick, but Dad thinks it's the other way around.
My strength comes from Rick. He gives me the desire and the power to be able to perform.
And his power seems to be superhuman as they cross the finish line after 16 hours and 15 minutes. 8 hours after the winner. With the help of a special computer, Rick has expressed how much he loves competing. It's the one thing that makes him feel that he has no disability and no limits. And if he wasn't disabled?
What I would probably do first is tell my dad to sit down in the wheelchair, and now I would push him.
All right, let's see. Now, my favorite sports are football, baseball, basketball, soccer, and fencing. You know, dancing around with the sword. Okay, all right, I confess, I just learned about fencing in this video, and I found out that it is not a delicate sport. In fact, some top fencers are coming out of some tough neighborhoods. It's true. Watch.
To the point.
Most people think of fencers as those guys in silly outfits from old movies. Aki Spencerell, one of the top fencers in the world, doesn't fit the profile. But that didn't stop this native of Harlem, New York from going all the way to the 2000 Olympic Games and giving fencing a new profile.
I like to make fencing a major sport, just like Tiger Woods did in golf.
How did Aki find this unlikely sport? When he was 14, his mother sent him here, a fencing program for city kids. His coach, Peter Westbrook, a six-time Olympian, started the program 10 years ago, and now it's one of the best training centers in the country. In a sport dominated by Europeans, Peter has produced some of the top-ranked fencers in the world, including 3 Olympians. The object of fencing is simple: to touch your opponent with your weapon and block their moves so you don't get hit. But Peter's kids learn more than just fencing fundamentals. They also get a few lessons in life.
Sometimes it's good when you realize you make a mistake to say that you made a mistake. It helps develop relationships.
Aki knows firsthand the difference Peter's program made in his life.
When I was growing up, a lot of my friends were in jail. A lot of them were selling drugs in the streets. I definitely think that could have been me.
Instead, Aki and his fellow Olympians are here every week, training and inspiring a new generation of Olympians.
Of all the sports I've played, I think fencing is the best sport on earth.
Goofy guys in silly outfits? Not anymore. Now, sometimes it takes one person's accomplishment to open millions of people's eyes. That's what a young track star did in Australia. She made her country see that being a part of a minority group doesn't make her a second-class citizen. She also gave the crowd one of the most exciting moments in Olympic history. Let's take a look.
Lighting the torch.
Australians went wild as their very own Kathy Freeman carried the torch to open the 2000 Olympic Games in Sydney. But this track star did more than light a flame. As the first Aborigine in Olympic history, Freeman helped Australians face a hard part of their country's past. Aborigines were the original natives of Australia, but they were gradually stripped of their rights and their land after colonists came in the late 1700s. Today, many Aborigines still live in poverty in Australian slums. Freeman risked her own popularity to show her Aborigine pride. Back in 1994, angry Australians called her unpatriotic for carrying the Aboriginal flag with the Australian flag after she won her first international championship. Despite the controversy, she kept her focus. She won 2 world championships and picked up a silver Olympic medal in Atlanta. Off the track, she won her country's respect.
The Australian of the Year is Kathy Freeman.
Freeman's positive example encouraged other Australians to recognize the rights of Aborigines. By 2000, Australians couldn't wait for our Kathy, as she was now called, to go for Olympic gold in her own country. The pressure was intense. When Freeman's race was announced, the Olympic stadium of 110,000 exploded.
sash.
And they're underway to a giant roar, and the flashbulbs flash, and Kathy Freeman is out.
She's running very smoothly down the backstretch, and the pressure is on her.
Lorraine Graham in the black is making up the stagger.
But take a look at Kathy Freeman. She's striding away from the other women like they're standing still. An incredible run.
When she crossed the finish line, Australians everywhere erupted in joy. Kathy sat on the ground for a full minute, taking it all in. As she stepped up to the gold medal platform, Freeman knew she had achieved her biggest victory. She was a winner in her own home.
Good for you. You've reached the real finish line. This topic is done.